All right. Good morning, everyone. 10 o'clock. Welcome to another edition of the Long Coffee Break. I'm your host today, Mike Jacobs of Long Building Technologies, and joining me today is John Sartwell with Daikin Applied. Today's topic, we'll be discussing the Daikin Applied's SiteLine controls offering. We know managing and monitoring HVAC equipment in small to mid-sized buildings can often feel like a big headache, but now you can change that for good with a simple automation application used in Daikin equipment. And with that, I'm going to let John take it away.
Oops. There we go. Thank you all for joining us today. My name is John Sartwell. I've been in the HVAC industry since 1996. I started straight out of college working for Honeywell, did 5 years tech support. And since then, I've pretty much been going back and forth between sales and product management. Currently, I work for Daikin Applied, supporting our SiteLine portfolio, which brings us to what we're going to be discussing today. So SiteLine is our controls offering that consists of 3 different products. One being our wireless BAS, which is basically a wireless thermostat package. It does have a couple of competitive advantages. One being that we have a thermostat that is compatible with Daikin North America VRVs. That's a nice thing to have, a big ask that we've had from the field. The second thing is we also have thermostats that work with some of our rooftop equipment. So 2 real nice advantages to our wireless thermostat package. The second product would be dedicated equipment. We recently went through a rebranding. We used to be called Intelligent Solutions. Now it's SiteLine, and dedicated equipment. Previously, that was called Intelligent Equipment. So a lot of you are probably already familiar with that product offering. Typically, it's ordered with the equipment, comes installed out to the field, and it's really designed for a piece of rooftop equipment. Maybe it's critical, you need that remote access to it in case it goes down, or maybe it's far away from your location, so you want to have that remote access. You don't have to drive out there on a regular basis. And then our third product is our pre-programmed BAS, which is a building automation system. It runs on BACnet MSTP, and that's what we're going to be discussing today. Every time I do some sort of sales or tech training, I always like to show this slide. We don't have time today to go into this in great detail. However, I just like to show all the work that's done by the factory when you order our pre-programmed BAS. It's my understanding that a typical controls job will take up to like 40 hours, get everything all mapped and addressed and set up appropriately. As you can see here, all that work is done by Daikin when you order it with our equipment at the factory. So it's a huge time saver to get everything up and running quickly out of the box. So what we're going to be discussing today is our pre-programmed BAS. Within the last year, we added a cell modem to these, which gives us another level of customer experience that we can provide to you guys. Some of the benefits of this would be automatic cloud connection, the level of factory support that we can give, a brand new customer experience, and then it also brings this device up to the Daikin cloud. And these are the 4 bullet points that we're going to cover today. The first one is going to be the cloud connection. We went out to the field before we developed this product. We spoke to different customers and contractors and building owners, rep firms. And one of the things that we heard loud and clear is, yeah, we'd love this to automatically connect to the cloud, but we're not IT folks. That's not our forte. We're HVAC individuals. So if it's going to connect to the cloud, it needs to be very, very easy to do. And we made it so simple that I actually put the steps here on the monitor for you. Step 1, you plug the system manager into 120 volts. Step 2, see step 1. It is really that simple. It's no different than turning on your cell phone. Obviously, this is enhanced over previous versions. There's no need now to coordinate with the building IT. We've got some jobs out there that have taken up to a year working with IT to get remote access, which is fine. Security is priority number 1. even if it's like a small mom and pop shop, people don't want these Internet of Things type devices intermingling with their customers and their employees' sensitive information. So we fully support that, but now we remove that hurdle. The second they plug this system manager into the wall, we have instant access to it. Even before the BACnet's gone through and discovered all the devices, we can see in the system log, what it's finding for BACnet points and values, and it's instant access. Another
And
big
John, just to piggyback off that, I wanted to let everybody know that this does come with the first year, SiteLine included, this connection. And I personally have taken advantage of this out in remote sites that John was able to come in, help me commission the unit, and get in and out of the job site quicker, and everything working per design in a smooth, timely manner.
I love it. Number two, it's frequent that maybe there's upgrades for templates or the operating software. That was doable in the past. You would email us or we'd email you. You would load that onto a thumb drive, truck roll out to the job site. You put your thumb drive into the system manager, you navigate to the appropriate file, you delete the old file, you import the new one, you restart the system manager. That's all done. Everything from this point forward, we just automatically update it from the cloud, eliminating truck rolls, just faster, more efficient. Another one, there's no additional software needed. There's some jobs right now, and we encourage this, right? Every building's gonna be a little bit different as far as what level of security they want. So if there's a VPN in place, or maybe they're just not gonna put it on the external internet, they just have it within their firewall, then we would coordinate with someone to view it through TeamViewer. All that's done. No more crossover cables. There's no more need to pull an Ethernet cable to get it going. So all this is going to give us a much faster installation. And I also want to add here, just this last bullet point, it's completely separate from the building's internet. It has nothing to do with it. It's no different than you walking into a building with your cell phone and you still have access to the internet, but you're not tied into their Wi-Fi. It's your own individual internet connection. And that's what we have here now. And like Mike mentioned, it's included with it for the first year, but there are other options if you want to go 3 or 5 years. The second part of this is the level of factory assistance that we can provide now. The second the system manager is plugged in, the factory has access to that job. Not only can we help you get it up and running, I did it this morning with a customer, but we can go a level beyond that now and just make sure that you're taking advantage of all the efficiencies that Daikin equipment has to offer. Maybe, for example, it's a rooftop unit with a variable speed fan. We can easily help you enable the duct static pressure reset. There's one job up in Canada, it's got changeover voting. They had it with the older system where we didn't have remote access. There's always a little bit going back and forth between something not operating properly. Now that we have remote access to it, we're able to optimize that changeover voting, do touch points with it, over the course of a few weeks and tweak it. The level of factory assistance that we can offer now doesn't compare to what it was in the past. It's just much, much better. Every job that comes online, we'll go through it, look at it zone by zone and give recommendations if we see anything there. We work with your contractor, whoever's commissioning that job. We don't make changes without getting a thumbs up from you guys. So again, this is going to give us a faster installation, not only getting it up and running, but optimizing the network. For the troubleshooting part, I don't claim to be, I'm the BACnet guy. So if it's, a chiller, rooftop unit, water source, heat pump, any of these other devices that the system manager is compatible with, and if I can't help with that, well, I have instant access to our tech support. So I can bring those guys online and assist as well. So it's not just the controls that has access to it, but it's Daikin as a whole. You get all that support behind you. Again, just faster installation, optimizing it. You got the whole factory behind you, troubleshooting, getting it up and running. And then peace of mind too, that everything was installed properly and working the way that it should. The customer experience, this starts with the moment we get a call from you guys around a job, helping you select the right SiteLine solution for your application. As soon as the order goes through, you get an email from us that's going to offer assistance on wiring. So whether it's done in-house or subbed out or however that works, we'll work with your wiring guys. Every manufacturer's got little different tweaks or ways that they want their BACnet wired. So we'll make sure that everything gets wired up appropriately the first time. We don't want to waste money, sending it out there a second time to tear it down, then a third time to put it back in properly. Get it all done right the first time. So we'll work directly with them for you. Like I mentioned, we help with commissioning. From the second this thing's plugged in, we can help you guys get it up and running and moved on to that next job. Owner training, I did one of those this morning, and we just work with you guys however you want to do it. If you're comfortable with the system and you want to do it, you want me to be a fly on the wall, that's fine. We can do 50-50, or I can take the lead, but we definitely want to get your customers comfortable with the system. One nice thing too with this is I can log in remotely, share their system. So as we're doing that owner's training, we're actually making changes to their system. So if they want to learn how to add a user, we're actually doing it as I'm showing them how to set that up. Change a schedule, we're actually doing it to their system. So any questions that they have during that owner training, we're actually making those changes as we go through. And then touch points, like I mentioned before. Sometimes, you can't just set it and forget it. You need to look back on it over the course of a week. Maybe you pull some trend data and tweak stuff a little bit. And that's just so easy to do now when we don't have to coordinate with that Teams view or with IT to get access to it. We'll just work together to see what needs to be looked at, and we can check it out for you a couple times a day and make sure that system is working the way that it's designed. So this is new now for our pre-program. We now have a Daikin cloud. I'm going to use my mouse here and point to a couple of things here. This is the landing page right here. So they'll get an email with a username and login information. And every SiteLine product that they have access to will show up on this map. So on one quick view, they can see multiple locations. There's a little legend on the bottom to let them know how that location is operating. Up here in the top right, they can toggle between a map and a list view. So then you click on this list view and it gives you this screen right here. And this is basically breaking down your building by zone. So this is really good for like maintenance people. They can compare set points to space temps, the mode, get a little more detail on it. And then if they want to dive in one level deeper and look at a device, they would click on one of the devices, a VAV, a rooftop unit chiller, whatever it might be. And then they're all laid out the same. And I'm showing two different device pages here. But if you're familiar with our pre-programmed BAS, the local UI, it's pretty much identical. Going on the left-hand side here, we have our main categories. You click on this, and then it'll bring up the different backnet points over here on the right, so you can read and write to those. It's meant to be just very simple to navigate and use, not intimidating, and that's kind of the feedback that we've been getting too. We did a good job of keeping it simple and not too hard for a non-HVAC person, your building owner, to come on and see how their system is doing. Over here in the lower left, we do have a demo account. I believe this video is shared with you guys. So anybody who's interested, use Google Chrome, not Internet Explorer. Here's the URL, and then here's your username and password. You guys are welcome to hop in and click around at will. And with that, I will turn it back over to Mike.
And just to piggyback off that demo is actually connected to the Daikin applied plant in Minnesota. So you actually see what's going on up there. Also, I wanted to mention that this was, a lot of information covered in a small amount of time. So we were basically going over the rooftop VAV system, but this application does apply to other equipment. So please feel free to reach out to your long sales engineer to get some more information on that. But thanks, John. Thanks again for joining us. And please join in next week when Matt Bilsma will be covering equipment startup, how to get the full benefit of factory startup services for your jobs. And with that, I hope everybody has a great morning and enjoy your coffee. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your time today.